Hello everyone and welcome to a new career mode on the channel. Now I had recently, I think about 6 to 8, maybe even 8 months ago, talked about my plans in the future and what I plan to do for, at the time was going to be FIFA 24. But I decided to look into trying to do a career mode on this new game and see how it goes. So with that in mind, we are going to be doing a manager career mode in the MLS, as the title would suggest. We're just going to do generic manager here, and his name will be John Mahone, and we'll make him American. But this career mode, like I said, will be the MLS. It'll be with Sporting Kansas City. I have made Sporting Kansas City career modes in the past with past teams, or past career modes and past FIFAs. And this career mode will kind of be a simplistic editing style. We won't have the strenuous editing style because I don't have the time available to do a more cut editing style. So we'll be trying this out and see how it goes. We won't make it too elaborate, we'll just do suit and button up shirt. At our top will be black suit pants. That's blue, it's not black. We'll do black, there we go. And then black tie, glasses, black socks, and we'll do black runners. There we go. Okay. So that's our manager. Again, we'll be using an authentic club for this season with Sporting Kansas City. And a little context, Sporting Kansas City has won the MLS Cup for 2 times since the establishment of the MLS. They're one of the original MLS teams to enter into the league from the original 10. They originally were called the Kansas City Wizards, and then they switched their branding in about the 08, 09, 010-ish, so sometime between 2008 and 10, they switched their branding, and in that time they were able to establish themselves further within the city, because before they had won the MLS twice and the MLS Cup twice, and I believe they had won the US Open Cup twice at that point, but they hadn't established themselves as a club within the city, and in doing so with the rebrand of Sporting Kansas City, they were able to establish themselves better and prevent them from possibly getting relocated. So we'll go ahead and pick a stadium that's about the size and look of Sporting Kansas City's home stadium, which is Children's Mercy Park. I would say Molten Road would be closer, and then we'll rename it into Children's Mercy Park. So, little extra context, since the MLS has a salary cap, I won't be using specific detail with how much I spend on per player or in reference what we end up doing for a signings. So designated signings, they're only allowed 2 to 3 in the stadiums or in the teams, so that won't be my ultimate plan. My ultimate plan will just be utilizing the, is that too blue? That's too blue. We'll use the cyan blue. We'll just be using the overall salary of the team, and then going from there. Let's do black. I like black. So once we start, we'll look at our overall salary of our team, and then that will be the guideline that we use for the foreseeable future. Maybe using a little bit of inflation, but FIFA I don't think uses inflation, so we won't technically use that. But pitch pattern, I don't remember exactly what Sporting uses, so we'll just use generic pattern, and then we'll use that color green. The nets, normal nets. Okay, there we go. And that's our stadium. And then we'll start with a shorter half lane because I have played FIFA for about 12 hours now. And the experience and the higher difficulty it's very hard to defend. We will have a first summer transfer window, which is kind of messed up with how FIFA works when you're on the MLS. The summer transfer window works, but then this doesn't work if you disable it. But then the winter transfer window does work because this would technically be starting at the beginning of the 23 season. So it's a little messed up in that regards. We will not do any international jobs for this career mode. We will do a strict negotiations, strictness, and then no financial takeover, do dollars because we are in the United States. But yes, so this first episode is going to be a simplistic overview of what our career mode will be. So we will do just an overview of the squad, overview of where I'm going to be looking to buy in players, and then going from there. I don't know exactly how we will set up the specifics on what we're gonna. Oh yeah, I forgot. So specifics in terms of what videos will come out and what games will come out. Typically Sporting likes to have possession, so I want to keep that going. We will try to do we'll do tiki-taka if possible. And then this is the biggest thing they were adding besides the tactical vision was the ability to sign coaches. Now, I am more of a defensive person, and I think defending is a big point of emphasis on what you need to work upon. If you can defend, then it makes attacking a lot easier, and vice versa. If you can attack, then defending can be easier too. So we'll just start with signing coaches. The coach wages thing I'm not going to really worry about. And then, yeah, so we'll have to sign a lot more coaches. I'll do that off screen. You guys don't need to see me signing all the coaches. So this season does offer a lot of opportunities within MLS because we do have a couple new teams with St. Louis City SC coming into the Western Conference, who currently in real life are top of the Western Conference. And then I don't remember it correctly, but Charlotte is a new team that entered within the last 2 seasons. In the next couple of years, you'll see San Diego FC or SC coming in as well. And then Inter Miami with Messi is going to be a good opportunity, and we will play against them because they have played against them in real life. So the MLS is an interesting league, and it provides a good opportunity within career mode to try to challenge yourself, especially if you do try to keep the same wages. So as you can see here, a good feature shows that our total squad wage is about $95,000 and $95,545. I'm going to keep that. That's my challenge. Is going to be, first and foremost, we have to keep that. We can't sign unless a player requests to have a contract over 3 years. We can't sign a player over 3 years. As you can see, we only have one player over 3 years, and that's Daniel Shallowy. While most of our key players at this moment are on 1-year contracts. So Remy Walter, Courtney Ford, who has been a key player in the past. Cameron Duke is a young player coming up. Gadi Kinda is a designated player, I believe, in real life. These players, Castellanos, just came in this season. Flores, Zion, Cisneros. Zion Espinoza is older, but has been a key player in the past, but is switching to a rotational role. Graham Zusi, older, rotational role. But let's go ahead and get into what our style is going to be and our attempt to be for this season. So, a difficulty that Sporting has had within the last couple seasons, which they typically, traditionally within the 2010s, were a team that was always in the top of the Eastern Conference, and then switched to the Western Conference through expansion. Teams coming in and switching up the tables. They typically have been a team, in the higher parts of the table and have won the MLS Cup in 2013, as recent as 2013, so 10 years ago. And they won the US Open Cup, I believe, in 2015 and 2017, and have been routinely in the playoffs. And I think as recent as 2018, we're in the semifinals for the MLS Cup. So they have typically been a really strong team. The problem, especially recently, has been a lot of their spine players, such as Tim Melia and Roger Espinoza, was typically a good spine player, a team up the middle of the park or around the team that was always consistently starting. They're getting older. So as you can see, Roger Espinoza is 36 years old. Tim Melia is 36 years old. And Graham Zusi, all 36 years old. And they're all players that would routinely start throughout the 2010s to now. Other players that have been starters within the last couple of years, such as Alan Pulido. He's 31, so he's not terribly old, if you can say terribly, but he's not super old in terms of a playing ability. But players such as Johnny Russell, who is the current captain, is also 32. So they have typically they have an older squad for their league. Gutierrez was a player who was a part of the teams that were crucial in playoff pushes in the late 2010s, probably 2016, 17 to 20-ish. And then he left and has come back within this season. But they do have a couple good, not young players, but older young players such as Daniel Shallowy has been a consistent starter. He's inconsistent with his scoring ability and his output, but he has been getting consistently better over the last couple of seasons. Tommy came in, I believe, either last season or the season before. And then, as recent as the last couple of years, Fontas and Rosero has come into the defensive positions. But this team is very old, even in terms of a MLS standpoint. And as you can see, there's not many highly rated players within this team. And you would say probably their attack is their highest asset. With Pulido, Shallowy, and Johnny Russell all in that low 70s. But defensively, there are some work to be done, especially in terms of the possession details. As you can see, Rosero is a 52 on passing. Fontas is a 67 on passing, so that's decent. Graham Zusi is not quick, but he's a good possession fullback and can cross the ball well because he originally was a left wing position midfielder, and then as he got older, switched into that right back position. And then Ndembe, Leibold also can play that position. So as you can see, their team is not amazing. They're probably about middle of the pack, and in real life, they have had still dealing with injury issues because we go back to the squad. Pulido was injured long term last season. Gadi Kinda, who's typically a starter in this position, this attacking midfield position, the 8 or the 10, number 8 or 10 position. He was injured long term last season, and that crippled a lot of their expectations within last season and why they didn't do so well. And this season has been still trying to regain that form and that composure, as well as the team camaraderie and chemistry. So a big emphasis within this team is going to be utilizing our youth players, the ones we already have in the team. So if we look to our overall squad, we're going to go ahead and dissect every player we have. So we have 3 goalkeepers. McIntosh is 28, so he still has room for growth, but not as much room as Polskamp, who has started at times this season as well as McIntosh. They're respectively the same overall, and as they should be, because in real life they both have split time between each other. And then we have Leibold and Ndembe, who is younger, outside back who could grow into that starting position. Fontas, who's older. Rosero on the older side. Courtney Ford, he's 26. Olader has had opportunities to start, especially at the beginning of the season. Castellanos is 24. Ramsey, 36, 65 overall. And then Caden Pierre is a young right back, as well as Jake Davis has done well this season at times, playing the right back position ahead of Graham Zusi, who's had injury difficulties this season. It's funny because it still has his 2017 season face, which is funny. Remy Walter has typically been a good CDM / 6 or 8 position player. Espinoza is aging out of his starting role. Gutierrez, a player they brought back, and unsure if we'll keep him for next season. Eric Tommy has been a good player. Rodolia, another great player in the midfield that we can utilize. Cameron Duke is a player that has been more of a utility role for Sporting, so we'll see how we utilize him. He is 21, so he still has room for growth, as well as Felipe Hernandez, who is 24. And again, I would say if he doesn't grow by a 70 or a starting position, I don't care as much about the overalls. I'm trying not to care as much about the overalls. I'm caring more about their performances to make it a little more realistic. Gadi Kinda, typically a key player, and I think one of the designated players for Sporting. And then these 49 overall center mids, it'll be interesting. They are younger, 18 and 20 respectively. So we'll see how much they grow this season. Trying to get him into a proper development plan will be crucial. Daniel Shallowy, left wing for Sporting. Again, I've said he's had good seasons, he's had not so good seasons, so we'll see what he's able to produce this season, and hopefully he can keep growing, as well as Jonas, the Cyprus left wing, right wing, midfield, or attacking winger. He, again, is young, so prospect at the moment, and we'll see how he grows. Johnny Russell is a key and important member of this team, and I would think that he would be for the foreseeable future, at least these next couple seasons. A lot of these backbone players, I like to be very loyal to them, unless we get a huge offer for him, say, from a team that's realistic, that he realistically moved to. He is Scottish, so if there was to be a Scottish team to come in and get about his market value, realistically I could sell him and be okay with that. Alan Plato, a player that was brought in from Liga MX about 4 years ago. He's had injury issues, he's had bright spots, but he's been very injury prone. And he did recently get a new contract, so I may decide whether I'm going to do this. Since this is the start of the 23 season, I still have the opportunity whether I am not going to do that. And we'll just see how his output is, and if we have to move on, we'll look to sign another striker, and see how, as well as how Kyrie Shelton and William Agata do in that striker position. And then this player I haven't heard of, Stefan Afrifa at the striker position. But that's the entire squad. Youth Academy wise, we have already a good center forward coming through, Sebastian Ramos, the ball-headed 17-year-old. And he has really good physical aspects in terms of his agility, acceleration. So we'll try to utilize as much as the Youth Academy as possible. And I think another key thing I'm going to try to utilize within the squad wages is, I don't know, does it have the correct wages for these high level players? It doesn't. So I think technically Leah Gadia Kinda is a designated player, as well as Alan Plato and Johnny Russell, so they technically should have a wage that high. What I'll probably do is set a challenge from now on that I can't sign a player for more. I can only have, I would say, 3 players above that 8K mark, or at, well, there's only one player above 8K, and that's Alan Plato at 8,700 per week. Johnny Russell, all these So I'll say we can only have 3 players above that 7,500k mark for now, to make it fair. But yeah, so that's a team. The first game of the season we have, if we look into our, not our career, our calendar, is... we won't be doing any of the friendly matches. I just want to get straight into this season. We'll be against Portland Timbers, who have typically been a rival for Sporting. And we have a pretty strong start to the schedule. We have Portland, strong-ish teams in terms of rivalry or in terms of standing in the past. So we have Portland, Colorado, LA, FC Dallas, Seattle Sounders. So we will do at least the next game in live commentary, and we'll see how that goes. It won't be cut that much. A lot of it will just be freeform, old school YouTube videos in that term. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this series. Before this episode and the next one, or in between this episode and the next one, I will be looking to move players around, whether that be signing new contracts. I don't know if I will... the high players such as Johnny Russell, Alan Polito possibly will be getting new contracts, especially if I can look to manipulate their wages. Now, in real life, I don't think a player such as Alan Polito would take a wage cut to 7,000 or something. So I will, if they say, oh, I'm okay with 7,500 or something, I'll still offer him the same wages that he's at now, or up and around it, because they are integral players and they wouldn't take a wage cut just to be a part of an MLS team that we don't even know what's going to happen next season. So yeah, that will be the episode today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you next time with everything that's happened in our youth academy, our squad, and our first game against Portland Timbers. See you then.